Before I came here, I imagined California to be this place where everyone was vegan and everyone recycled, but Hayward's not like that.
I thought California has good weather, like hot and sun shines every day.
Some things are definitely like you see in movies. The culture and the environment, definitely, the climate. But there are several factors that you don't see on movies.
I imagine California is very warm, and I didn't think there are so many Asians.
I think the ratio of acceptances for undergraduates is higher than graduates, and we have an ALP program, and so ratios are even higher there, so you'd have to say probably 50–60% of the total. To all of the programs that we have, probably total applications is probably around 1,500. We have a large number of students that are students who start in the American language program and then enter the university. That's probably half of the number of students that eventually end up in courses of study.
Well, I think we get probably about 1,200 a year. Well, everybody's accepted. It's a non-degree program. So if you have a high school education, as almost everybody who applies does, there's no reason why we wouldn't accept you. The exception to that would be the pre-MBA program and other programs which are preparing for specific degrees. Then, of course, we run the application by the admissions office, and if they don't accept them, then we don't, because we don't want to take them if they're not going to get into the university. Well, it depends on the student. We do get a lot of students who transfer here, actually, from other schools in the States. Mostly, though, people go to an agent in their country and talk to an agent, or a family member knows the school, maybe they studied here, or they just find it on their own on the internet, or maybe they meet one of our representatives at a recruitment fair in their country. There's a number of different ways they can start the process. And then they have to apply, they have to go through all the processes to get the visa, they have to get an admissions letter from us, and they have to show they have enough money in the bank to pay for their study here, and convince the visa officer in an interview that they're a serious student, that they have enough money, and that they will go back to their country when they finish studying. And after that happens, then they can get the visa and come. And as you know, we have a quarter system, so people are pretty much coming all the time, every quarter.
Well, there's an admissions process. They have to meet the conditions for admission. There's a financial step. They have to meet the conditions for the financial requirements. Have to get a visa. Some countries that's easy to do. Korea is fairly easy. In other locations it's a little more difficult. Visas cost money, they're time consuming, there's a requirement for an interview. It can sometimes be difficult depending on person's situation or the location. If you live in Seoul, getting a visa is pretty easy, but if you live in other parts of Korea where there's not an American consulate, you'd have to travel to take care of that. So, and there's a lot of other things that go into preparing and coming to the United States for study. I think each individual approaches that in their own way. That is, what are you going to pack? What are you going to bring? Most of the time students bring 2 huge suitcases full of stuff, but sometimes they come with very little, so it depends on the individual.
Our largest group right now is China, but also we have a lot of Koreans and Japanese and Saudi students and many other groups.
The countries represented here are very similar to the countries represented nationwide in the United States.